Hi everyone, welcome to the History of Football channel. Tonight I'm going to be bringing you 5 embarrassing moments that Liverpool fans would probably like to forget. Liverpool are the most successful club in English Football League history in terms of total trophy wins, and they sit second behind Manchester United in trophies won if you count the old First Division and Premier League together. But that doesn't mean that they go without embarrassing moments, and tonight I'm going to bring you 5 embarrassing moments in the modern history of Liverpool Football Club. The first moment we're going to talk about tonight is Liverpool and the fact that it took them 30 years to win the Premier League title, and in that space they spent £1.5 billion on players. They used 239 players in total, and in between that, Leicester City and Blackburn Rovers won the Premier League title before they did. Some of the players that they spent big money on: Andy Carroll, £35 million that they spent from Newcastle United to buy him. That didn't turn out too well. Christian Benteke, they spent a lot of money on him and didn't really get much in return. They spent over €42 million for him. Then you had Mario Balotelli, who could forget £16 million that they spent to get him, and he scored 1 goal in his entire spell with Liverpool Football Club. Alberto Aquilani, they spent over €20 million on him, and he didn't turn out to be the player that they expected him to be. And then lastly, I think this is probably one of the more stranger ones that they've spent money on: Robbie Keane, €24 million they spent on him, and he didn't turn out to be the player that they wanted either. So they've had some very bad signings. But aside from the signings that I just mentioned, and that there were a lot of bad signings for Liverpool over the last 30 years, I think what would be more embarrassing for them is the fact that Blackburn Rovers and Leicester City beat them to the Premier League title. And considering the size of Liverpool Football Club, I think that's very, very embarrassing. The second moment on this list was the 2018 Champions League final between Liverpool and Real Madrid, two of the heavyweights of European football. Liverpool were looking at getting another Champions League trophy, but that was derailed by German goalkeeper Loris Karius. He was at fault for 2 really bad errors that he made, which pretty much cost Liverpool the trophy. The first one was where he went to throw the ball out. Karim Benzema stuck his leg out and kicked the ball into the net. And then he was also at fault for the third goal, where Gareth Bale took a shot from distance. It was a fair way out, and Loris Karius totally misjudged it, and it went into the back of the net. From that moment on, Loris Karius, as of today, has not played another match for Liverpool Football Club. He's been loaned out to Besiktas and Union Berlin. He was even offered a contract by a third division Italian side. I think they were called Rimini, and he hasn't been really seen that much since that night where he cost Liverpool the 2018 Champions League trophy. Going into the third embarrassing moment, the 2013-2014 Premier League season. Liverpool, it looked like that they were going to finally break that drought. That Premier League trophy was going to be theirs, and they were quite impressive that year. They were scoring goals left, right and centre, and in midst of all that, they were on an 11-game winning streak, and they were 3 points clear of second place Manchester City with 5 games to go. And then, of course, the Steven Gerrard slip in the 2-0 loss against Chelsea. And then also they had a 3-3 draw against Crystal Palace, where they raced out to a 3-0 lead against Crystal Palace, and things looked like they were going to be going the right way for Liverpool that night. But then Liverpool conceded 3 goals to draw 3-3, which pretty much ended their Premier League trophy hopes of that 2013-2014 season. They did beat Newcastle United, but it wasn't enough. Manchester City took out the Premier League crown that year, and once again it was another embarrassing year for Liverpool, where it looked like they were going to finally break that Premier League drought. It just wasn't meant to be for them, and of course they would have to wait a bit while longer to get that first Premier League trophy. And that goes into the fourth moment, the Steven Gerrard slip, the one that I just mentioned. This one is probably one of the most talked about moments in Premier League history so far. And Liverpool, they were in the driver's seat, they were in pole position. They looked like they were finally going to win their first Premier League trophy. It looked like they were going to take out the 2013-2014 crown. And they played against Chelsea at home at Anfield there. And as we all know, Steven Gerrard slipped over. Demba Ba took full advantage of that, went down the field, scored a goal. And Liverpool didn't really recover from that. They ended up losing the match 2-0. Even after Liverpool won the Premier League trophy the other year, it's still a song that's sung by rival supporters. There's still a lot of ridicule aimed at Liverpool over it. I think it's a moment that nobody will ever forget. It's one of those iconic moments in the Premier League. But unfortunately for the Reds and for the Liverpool fans, it's always going to be something that they're never going to forget for the wrong reasons. And that's the fourth most embarrassing moment that I can talk to you about tonight in this top 5 Liverpool most embarrassing moments. And the fifth moment on this list is Steven Gerrard's final game for Liverpool in the Premier League. On May the 24th, 2015, they played against Stoke City at the Britannia Stadium. Liverpool were looking to send out one of their greatest ever players and the club legends, Steven Gerrard, out on a high note. And it didn't happen. Stoke City beat them 6-1. 6-1, just let that sink in. Even today, just thinking about it, it's a shocking result. It's not the way that you want to send out a club legend. Liverpool were never in that game whatsoever. Stoke City put them to the cleaners, and it's nothing short of embarrassing the way that Steven Gerrard was sent out by Liverpool. I'm pretty sure, even though Liverpool fans and the club would like to forget what happened, opposition fans sure haven't, and I'm pretty sure they remind them pretty regular about this moment. So that is the top 5 moments, or should I say embarrassing moments in Liverpool's history in modern times. Just before I go though, an honourable mention. This one is for the 2020 Champions League round of 16 match between Atletico Madrid and Liverpool, second leg at Anfield. Atletico Madrid took a 1-0 lead in the first leg at home. They went to Anfield. Liverpool equalised, and then Liverpool scored a second goal in extra time through Roberto Firmino to make it 2-1. And then what happened in the last 25 minutes? Atletico Madrid scored 3 goals in 25 minutes in extra time to shock Liverpool, who thought that they were on their way to the next round, the quarter-final, but it wasn't to be. You can see the 3 goals, one of them right at the end in the 120th minute by Alvaro Morata. He sealed the deal. Liverpool thought that they had this game in the bag after Roberto Firmino scored that goal, but Atletico had other ideas, and I consider it to be a pretty embarrassing moment in modern times in Liverpool's history. They were the defending Champions League winners at that stage, and they were dumped out by Atletico Madrid at home in front of their sold out crowd and their adoring fans. So that wraps up my top 5 embarrassing moments for Liverpool in modern times. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know any moments that I may have missed or ones that you would like to mention as well. This is the History of Football, signing off, and I'll see you all in the next video. Alright, tatty bye for now.